Hey racers, John Racer 3 today, back for another case unboxing, and today we've got the Hot Wheels 2025 K case, as you can see with the K on the case, and I'm excited to unbox this thing to see what cars we have. And if you're new here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unbox this case, check out all the new cars that are in this case, and then race the fastest on my distance track to see which one is the king of the case. Now, if you're interested in just the races, you can go ahead and skip to this time frame to go to see which car in this case is actually the fastest. But if you don't, and you wanna watch the whole case unboxing, I will let you guys know all of the cars that I do not unbox in this video. I will list up for sale on my marketplace, JR3 Garage. Now, I've been talking about JR3 Garage in basically all of these case unboxing videos. Basically, it's a platform where I can list all of my Hot Wheels products and sell them to you guys while also creating a community over there, answering questions, and overall just having a really good time selling Hot Wheels. So if that's something that interests you, you can use the link in my bio to get $5 off your first purchase, or link in the description rather, and we can go from there. I'm going to be listing off a lot of cars here from this case on there. So as soon as this video is live, I would check the description, make sure any of the cars that you're looking for are listed up for sale there. I know we're going to have some Ferraris in this case. So if that's something that interests you, check the link in the bio, and then I'll just go ahead and stop yapping about it. So here we go. We got the N case, or sorry, not N case. We got the K case opened up. Let's go ahead and see what's inside and then see which one's the fastest. All right, we got the Chevrolet as the regular treasure hunt, and then we've got the McLaren Speedtail as the super treasure hunt. So we'll go ahead and see if we can pull any of those cars today. But regardless, there are some fantastic castings that I can't wait to get my hands on in this case. Starting with this one right here, we've got Street Wiener. I know all of you guys have been really looking forward to Street Wiener. I'm just kidding. I think we've seen this car before, but it is a recolor, so we'll set it aside here. We got Lil Roar. I know you guys have been waiting for this Lil Roar casting this whole time, and also I am just kidding here. This little Mini Cooper off-road car is sick, but it's not the car that I really wanted to take a look at. It's this Ferrari F40. Obviously, guys, we're going to be looking at this Ferrari F40 here. This is definitely going to be the cover car for today's video, and it's a beautiful looking car. The Ferrari F40 has been released before by Hot Wheels, but this update, this I guess new for 2025 casting, is very much an updated version of this car. It's part of the Hot Wheels Exotics category of diecast here. Plus we've got, I think this is a little bit different than the other F40s that have been released because it's the Competizione Ferrari F40 Competizione. However you want to pronounce it, I'm not Italian. It's like the race version of the F40, and you can tell just based on how low the splitter is, how cool the wing looks, and how low to the ground everything else looks. So a fantastic looking Ferrari, something I have mentioned before in the last case. I see one here for comparison, so I'll just pull this out here. The Ferrari SF90, this was in the previous case, but old Ferraris used to have the card art of the Ferrari fully showing in the card. But here, as you can see, the back of this car is not actually in the packaging, which is something a little bit different that Hot Wheels has been doing now that they got the new Ferrari license. So, all right, losing my breath over this car already. Let's go ahead and read the fun facts about this new casting. Originally intended to race at Le Mans, the Ferrari F40 Competizione, however you want to pronounce that, was a much more powerful version of the F40 LM. Its reinforced chassis, 720 brake horsepower engine, racing gearbox, and other gains made it a prized possession for private collectors. A total of 8 to 10 vehicles were manufactured, making it a true rarity. So there you have it. The Competizione is the Le Mans version of the F40 that's also street legal, and there were like 8 to 10 of them ever made, which is kind of gnarly that we get to have that in Hot Wheels form. But I like the wheels, I like the colors and everything. Got that Ferrari red, and we'll be unboxing it to see how fast it is on the distance track, which has gone through some changes, and I'm excited for you guys to see what that track looks like now. But let's go ahead and continue on with this video. We've got the Maserati Shamal, which we saw in the previous case. We've got a Honda Civic EF in green and like yellow wheels. Very interesting color combination for this Civic. I don't know how I feel about it. It's very bright. You'll be able to see it on the track, but hopefully it's fast. It's new for the case, so we'll go ahead and set that aside. Then we've got Drift and Brake. I believe this was in the previous case. I usually get it a little, get a little fuzzy with the fantasy cars from the last case. I think this was in purple, if I remember correctly. Maybe this is a recolor. I'll have to go back in and look at it, but got a fantasy car there for all of my fantasy car fans. We got, like I mentioned before, the Ferrari SF90 was in the last case, brand new Ferrari, and it's going up for sale on jr3garage.com, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. We got the Quolund Hypervan fantasy car, that was in the previous case, and then we got the 2018 custom Ford Mustang GT, and this has a special feature with that lifting front bumper, so it's fast on the track. Now, this Mustang has come out a couple times. It came out with a Formula Drift livery. It came out in like a NASCAR Joey Logano livery, but I really like this livery here because it's just Ford performance. It got the blue and the white stripes, colors that Ford actually uses when they race, with that red in there as well for the Ford performance. This thing looks awesome. It's like a GT3 Mustang, but it isn't the GT3 Mustang, if you know what I'm saying. This is a very good looking casting, and since it has that front splitter that lifts up, it'll definitely be fast on the track as well. So we'll go ahead and set that aside and keep moving on through the case. Next up, we got a Pontiac Aztek Custom, a Plymouth Superbird, and the Tracked Wagon. We've seen Tracked Wagon before. We'll go ahead and set that aside. The Pontiac Aztek is new for this case in a brand new color. I believe this is the third color it's ever come out in. It came out in blue, and then it came out in red, and now we've got a different deco on it, and it is actually in like a green, like an olive green, I guess you could say. And the back wheel there is different than the front wheel, which is an interesting touch for the designers to put on this car. I don't know if this is like an error, if the car is actually supposed to look like this, but it is kind of funky looking with that rear wheel looking a little off there. So I'll set this aside. Maybe if we get another one in the case, I can compare the rear wheels, but if this is supposed to look like this and it's not a wheel error, I think it honestly looks kind of cool. It just looks like a beater car almost, like the Walter White Pontiac from Breaking Bad, only a lot more beaten down, which is interesting. You got a racing number on there, and I believe the Aztek is fast, so we'll set that aside, see how it does on the track. Then we got the 70 Plymouth Superbird. This is a recolor from when it came out in yellow earlier this year. In red, I like the colored wheels. I like this casting. I guess I'm not the biggest fan of the actual car, or of the deco. I love the car, not the biggest fan of the deco, but still pretty cool for the people collecting art cars out there. That one's definitely one for you guys to pick up. All right, let's go on and continue on with the case. We've seen these cars before, the Corvette Gasser, the Hayco Type D, and the Renault Espace F1. All of those cars we've seen. I believe the Gasser was the regular, the main line for the Super Treasure Hunt last case. I could be wrong there though. Ooh, next up, we've got the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super. That is new for this case. Cruise Bruiser we've seen before, and then this Ravager ST is also new for this case, and this thing looks awesome. I love the blue and black when it comes to fantasy car livery. This is one of the best fantasy cars I've seen in a long time, so excited to unbox that. The silver also just really accents with the blue. That looks really cool. Go ahead and set that aside, but we got a new casting for today's case. Got the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super. Look at how small the wheels are on this thing. That's very interesting, new for 2025, part of the Compact King series. And we've got some fun facts. Born in 1962, raced to victory in Alfa Romeo's first true homologated touring car, sporting the Quadrifoglio logo. Man, that is quite the tongue twister. Quadrifoglio logo. Only 501 units were produced, making the TI Super a super rare racer. Why is this such a tongue twister? You got Quadrifoglio logo, TI Super, a super rare racer. Super rare racer. Whatever. I think Hot Wheels knew what they were doing with that little snippet there on the back of the packaging. But this thing looks awesome. I think that the livery is a little underwhelming, I guess. I mean, it looks like it was made in the 60s, I'm not gonna lie, but the small wheels are definitely not gonna make it fast on the track. So I have low hopes for this thing, but I hope it proves me wrong. And it's also got like a chrome reflective interior, which I'm not the biggest fan of chrome interiors. So that is also something to note for that brand new casting. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. We've got the Vespa 90 SS Super Sprint and Mid-Mill. We've seen both of these cars before. Mid-Mill might be a recolor, but I'm not quite sure. I think we have seen that before. We'll set that aside. And then we got the Land Rover Defender 90. This is a new car for this case. I believe this is a recolor from when it came out earlier this year, and I really like the recolor. It's tan, it's got like an actual Land Rover color, and I know this will fit on the track as well. So I'm excited to see how this thing does around the new and improved distance track, which you guys will see here here in a second. So very cool looking Land Rover car. We'll go ahead and set that aside, continue on through the case. We've got a Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. This was one of the highlights for me in the previous case. We got RDO6, which I know is a recolor for this case because this was really fast when I took on the distance track when it first showed up in the cases this year. So that'll be a fast car to test out. And then of course, the Toyota GR86 Cup you've seen before, and it will be listed for sale over on JR3 Garage. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. We got a Honda Civic Custom. That's the second Civic in this case, a brand new Civic, and it's got the red, white, and blue livery on it as well. I love the decos on this thing. The wheels, the decos, I mean, this is another car that has different wheels too. We've got nice little shiny wheel on the front. I don't even know how you pronounce that. And then we got the wheels that were on the Alfa Romeo, the super small ones, in the back. So it's a custom Honda Civic, obviously, with the two different wheels. But I don't know if I really understand the hype behind this. If we have any Civic fans in the comments, let me know what you think of this casting. But I think it's a little funky looking. It's like a street racer made by someone who doesn't have the budget to buy an actual Honda Civic Type R. That's how I would describe this thing. But otherwise, it looks pretty cool. Definitely one of my highlights for the case after everything I said about it. Yeah, I think that's still pretty cool. We got mid-mill again, and then we've got the Batman Arkham Asylum Batmobile, which has now come out again in black. I believe this is the only Batmobile in the case. It's like we have a Batmobile every single case these days, and I'm not the biggest Batman guy, but this is a clean looking Batmobile. It's black with the silver accents. I think that's the most iconic look for the Batmobile from Arkham Asylum. Looking pretty cool. New for the case, so we'll unbox it. Next up, we got a Zinger 21C, a Ford F-150 Raptor, and a Honda Moto Compo. We've seen all those cars before, set those aside. Got the paper coming out there. Can't tease what's next in the case before unboxing it. All right, let's go ahead and continue. We've got the 67 Mustang, the Maserati Shamal. Then we've got the Chevrolet. This is the regular treasure hunt for the case. As you can see, we've got a Chevy logo on the front, but it is a fantasy car. You could see the treasure hunt logo really easily on this thing because it's so low to the ground. And this thing looks really, really fast. I'm not gonna lie, the wheels are perfectly spaced apart. It's super long, it's got some weight, and it's got the white walled wheels, so it looks really cool as well. This thing might be a serious contender for the distance champion in this case, and it's the regular treasure hunt. So I'm excited to unbox that and see how fast that is there for sure. Go ahead and get these cars out from the last half of the first half of the case, or last cars from the first half of the case. Yeah, we'll say that. We've got the Lamborghini Miura Tracked Wagon and the Land Rover Defender Double Cab. We've seen all those cars before. We'll set those aside. And now we can get to the second half of the case, do some magic fingers, give me the McLaren Speedtail Super Treasure Hunt. That would be awesome. All right, I don't see it right off the bat, but we'll go ahead and keep unboxing cars, see what we can find. Ooh, okay, I was just talking about the regular treasure hunt being one of the fastest cars in the case. We've got a recolor for flippin' fast. This is currently our fastest car from all of the cases, the King of the Hill, undefeated, and this time it's in like a yellow and red livery. I don't think I like that any more than the livery that originally came out in, which by the way, we've seen these cars before. I'll set those aside and list those up for sale, but I have our King of the Hill here in the black and blue and like orange livery. I think this looks so much better than this. So I'm gonna hope that this guy, my boy, holds the king of the case crown, but this thing might actually put it up and give it a run for its money because we know how fast this casting is. It's got silver on one side, yellow on the other side, and we know it's gonna be fast. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. All right, well, looks like our luck has run out here. No super treasure hunt for me today. We got the McLaren Speedtail. We got two of them actually in the same case, and both of them are the regular version. They are new for the case though. We've seen the Cruise Bruiser before. We'll set that aside. But the McLaren Speedtail is the super treasure hunt for this case. Unfortunately, did not get it. I would have loved to have another McLaren Speedtail in the collection, or at least a super treasure hunt in the collection, but I guess we'll just stick with the one so far this year. But Speedtail, not the fastest casting, but maybe that one will prove me wrong. We'll see. See what else we got here. We got the 67 Mustang, another Ferrari F40, and then a Monte Racer. This Ferrari F40 is going to be listed up for sale, jr3garage.com. If that's something that interests you, you should swoop it up before someone else does. Then we've got Monte Racer, which I believe is a carryover from the last case, but it also may be a recolor for a fantasy card that I just don't know that much about. So we'll go ahead and set that aside there. If it is new for the case, it does look pretty fast. All right, I'm just spilling cars out of the case here. Looks like we got another Monte Racer, a Zinger 21C, and a Porsche 911 Carrera Clip. These are all cars we've seen from the previous cases or from the last batch of cars. Let's go ahead and continue on. We got another Batman Arkham Asylum Batmobile, a Renault E-Space F1, and then another GR86 Cup. Man, they've been giving me a lot of GR86s. I have so many of those listed on J3 Garage. It's crazy. Ooh, it looks like we got a McLaren W1. That's very interesting. This came out like 2 cases ago, and it's still getting carried over. I believe it came out in the G case. No, in the H case, sorry. And then it wasn't in the J case, and now we're back in the K case. So very interesting that the McLaren W1's back, but big fan of the casting anyways. That'll go up for sale on the Garage Marketplace, and you've seen all of these other cars before. We'll set those aside. Man, not a lot of new cars in this case so far. I say as we got some new cars in the case. We got the Land Rover Defender, which is not new to the case, but then we got a recolor of the Mazda RX-3. Last time this came out, I believe it was in white, and this time it came out in a matte black, and it looks like we've got the, I think that's Mad Mike. Yeah, Mad Mike Motorsport is the quote-unquote sponsor for this thing. You can see he's got his little logo there, signature there. So this is an actual car that exists, only this time it is tuned, and I really like the matte black deco on this thing. It looks really, really cool. With the blue, with a little bit of rust on the sides. I don't know, tuned cars can either be really fast or really slow. It's hard to say. But then we've got Slide Burn, which I believe is a new casting for this case, and it's a new for 2025 casting, so we've got a little bit of a blurb here. Slide Burn draws inspiration from our 1970s Hot Wheels design aesthetic with its twin induction hood scoops and quad port exhaust afterburners. This slick muscle car looks like it's been sliding the orange track for decades. Take a look at that. We got the quad exhaust there. We got the engine burners there on the top. Pretty cool looking car, and it does look like an old Hot Wheels fantasy casting, which is cool that they're drawing inspiration from that. See what else we got. We got Crescendo, we got the Mercedes-Benz AMG Petronas Formula One team, and we've got Lil Roar we've seen before. We've seen also the F1 Mercedes. Those will both be listed on the marketplace. Then we've got Crescendo. Crescendo was one of our King of the Streets way earlier in the series so far this year, and this time it's come out in a recolor in green and gold. I really love the base color of this thing. It's a very good looking gold. It's got one of those special features where you can lift up the splitter to have it go faster around loops and turns and stuff, and I have a good feeling this thing's going to be really fast. So we'll set that aside and see how well it does on the track. We got some more beautiful cars here. We got the Ferrari SF90 that we've seen in previous cases. We'll set that aside. Then we've got Futurismo and Pterotractyl. Both of these cars are new for the case. We got Futurismo in like a purple and green. I think that's a bit of an eyesore color combination, but I do like the shade of purple with the black rims looking pretty cool. That thing could be really quick. And then on top of that, we got Pterotractyl, which is also new for this case, and it looks like it's got like a Baja graphic almost. As you can see, we've got the Hot Wheels graphics logo there on the side, number 12, and then some other brand logos that I do not understand. But I like the colors of this thing. I think I can ignore the yellow windshield here. I don't think it's the best looking thing, but I think it works with the color combinations that are going on with this car, with the orange and the yellow and the black as well. So pretty good looking casting, and I would believe it'd be pretty fast as well, but there's only one way to find out. But as we round out the end of this case, we've got a couple more new cars here. We've seen the Lotus Type 49, we'll set that one aside, but we have not seen the Dodge Cornet Super B. This is a new car for this case. Beautiful looking Dodge here. I like the Dodge colors here. The yellow and the black looking very classic. Classic muscle car. Cool to have in the collection. We'll set that aside, see how fast it is. Then we've got the Audi 90 Quattro, which is honestly not the fastest casting because of how wide it is and how small the wheels are and how low it is to the ground. But I don't think it's supposed to be built for speed. I think it's supposed to be built for looks, and this thing looks absolutely incredible. Not the biggest fan of having a silver base color, but I do like the graphics on this thing, the orange and the yellow. Man, almost looking just like Pterotractyl here when it comes to the color combinations on the decos there. Very interesting connection to make, but very cool looking car. People love Audis, so I'm sure that'll do well on the socials, but cool stuff there. See what else we got. Carrera clip we've seen before. We have not seen this Volkswagen T3 Custom. This is also a new car for this case. I thought it was a new casting as well, but I guess I was wrong. This must have come out before because there is no new 2025 logo or any blurbs about it. But this thing looks pretty gnarly, not gonna lie. It looks like there's a lot of G-forces going on with the different indents and wings and stuff for this van, but hopefully it's fast. That would be really awesome. This thing looks fast, and usually if a Hot Wheels looks fast, it may or may not be fast, so I guess we'll find out. We got a recolor for the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. At least I believe this is a new recolor and hasn't been in the cases before. It came out in orange before, now it is out in blue. Very cool looking little supercar, hypercar, however you want to pronounce it. Big fan of the exotics series anyways, so we'll set that aside. And then the last cars in the case, we've got Hot Wings, Speed Driver, and a Pontiac Aztek Custom, which does have the back wheel, so that is not an error. That is how the car is supposed to look, and there you go, answered that. But Speed Driver is the last new car for this case, and it looks like, wait, that's actually a really cool looking car. Got a bit of a wrench there that you can use, but then it also has different things, like you can use this car to actually hold drill bits and use drill bits. It looks like you can put it through the drill bit through the middle of the car and then also have it held in the middle of the car there. So you can put the drill bit there, and then you can also stick it through the inside and then just screw it with the car, I guess. So it's a car that's also a tool, which is interesting. You can see there's like different drill bits on the card out there to tell you where you're supposed to put them. I don't know if drill bits like that small are actually something I would use this car for, but I love cars that have utilitarian uses like the Xperia Motors cars usually do. So very cool car to end off the case there, but look at that. I said there weren't a lot of cars to unbox, and I was wrong because we just hadn't unboxed all the cars in the case. So there you go. That is the Hot Wheels K case. Some beautiful looking cars here. Now, how does this case rank against all of the other cases that I've unboxed so far this year? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. It's obviously going to be really high up on that list for me because I am a Ferrari guy, and this Ferrari F40 Competizione, I'm just going to call it the F40, is the most beautiful car in this case, by far. Super excited to have that in the collection. See what else we got here. We got the regular treasure hunt, at least. No super treasure hunt for us, but we got the regular treasure hunt. Definitely a highlight there. We got the funky looking Civic with the two different wheels there. Also looking pretty cool. Got the Speedtail, despite it not being a super treasure hunt. Still another exotic I'm happy to have in the collection. Got a bunch of fantasy cars here, but then I'm also a big fan of this van here. I breezed over it pretty quickly, but I'm excited to unbox this thing to see how fast it actually is on the track. So without further ado, I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the Cracking 10 race. You guys seem to really like that series. I brought it up at the end of the last case unboxing to see if that was something you guys are still interested in watching, and a lot of you guys said yes, which I was not anticipating. So I think I'll go ahead and do that, and I guess you'll just have to see my face, but right after that we'll go ahead and jump in to see which one of these cars is the fastest on a new and improved distance track, which I know a lot of you guys are also interested in. So I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to see how fast I can unbox 10 of these cars. Also, I'm ranking this case an 8 out of 10 for the Ferrari. No super treasure hunt, regular treasure hunt, and a lot of cool cars. So 8 out of 10 for me. All right, well, I've got my 10 highlights here all laid out in front of me and ready to be unboxed, but I did want to mention that both Midmill and, Monta Racer were both new to this case, so I'll definitely be racing these guys on the new distance track. But first, you guys want to see how fast I can unbox these 10 cars. Now, I'm just going to go full mental focus on getting these cars out of their blisters, lined up in a row, and I'm really going to try and beat my record today. I think I can do it. This is my current record, and I gotta get faster than that. I won't know it in the moment, but I think I can beat it if I really focus here. So I want you guys, if you guys are super interested in watching this part of the video, first of all, you actually get to see my face, which you never see otherwise. But second of all, I want you guys to let me know if you guys can unbox 10 cars faster than I can. Because right now, I think I'm the fastest guy I know we're gonna unbox Hot Wheels cars. So if you guys have your own times, time yourself, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear it and get some friendly competition started with you guys in the comments. But all right, let's go ahead and unbox. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars here ready to unbox. And I'm gonna go really try hard here, see what I can do. So hands behind back, count down from 3. As soon as I touch the car, the timer starts. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna try and set them up so that I don't have to rearrange them after the fact. I think that's how I've been losing a lot of time, and I'm going pretty, oh no, I'm losing it. Oh, it's all coming apart. This is tragic performance by me. Gordon Murray didn't want to come out of the package either. And time. My treasure hunt is backwards. He got flipped up by a card that I was trying to unbox. That's unfortunate. But we have all the cars unboxed, and I must say, this Ferrari, very beautiful looking stuff there. But now that we have all these cars unboxed, I'm gonna try and see if I can figure out which one of these cars is the fastest on a new and improved distance track. That I think this distance track that I have set up now is a really strong contender for being my distance track for the future videos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the racing. All right, we've got all the cars laid out and unboxed, ready to race. We've got 14 fantasy cars and 14 licensed cars for a total of 28 cars to take on this distance matchup, and this track is a special one. So first, let me walk you through the track. So we've got pretty standard stuff. The cars are gonna be going down the downhill here like usual, going into the arc, business as usual. The arc has been reinforced though, coming out of the arc, so cars should not have the issue that they did last case unboxing, where they go around the arc and then can't make it if they are too long or something like that. So the arc has been improved, going down into the downhill, the JLH Craft Speed Trap as usual, but then things get a little bit of a change. We've got a turn 2 here made by Spool Heads. This is the Spool Heads 2-lane 180-degree turn. Cars are gonna be going in on the inside with enough banking. Cars that are super tall, like the tuned cars, are gonna be able to make it around this turn without flipping over, and then they go onto the raised part of the section. This is the part of the section that has been all made by me. I made all the risers, I made all the track, I made all of the connectors. All of this stuff is resin and 3D printed, and the cars are going to be going down the slight downhill ever so slightly, carrying as much speed as they can on this super hard yet super smooth resin printed Hot Wheels track all the way down into turn 3, which is a Spool Heads fat track turn and also features a little bit more than a 180-degree turn here. So cars need to hug the inside here and keep their speed as fast as possible before going into this little bit of a bend. I don't even know if I can call this a turn 4 here, before getting onto the finish line there of the distance track and then going as far as they possibly can on the rest of the distance track. So the distance track is pretty good, and it's pretty cool because it unwinds into the fat track, which has the big fat track turn there. You can see it barely hiding behind all of those other turns. And then we've got the 2 lanes. So the King of the Streets will be as normal as usual going forward, and the battles are going to be super close with these cars. Now, the one thing I don't really like about this so far is that I can't really see the fat track turn here with all of the other turns going on around it. So I'll try and find a solution to that here eventually. However, for now, we've got the fat track here that ends just after the distance track. So this is the first tournament I filmed on this track. So if you guys like it, comment down below, but we don't even know how the cars are going to do yet. So let's go ahead and get started with our regular treasure hunt. Also, let's not forget our King of the Case and our King of the Street. We've got the flip car. King of the Case has been holding on this title for a while, along with Formula Solar, who is our King of the Street. We've got our other flip car. He's going to be the last fantasy car to take on this track, but things to remember as these cars try out this brand new distance track. These cars, these kings, are going to have more territory to defend now. All right, enough yapping. Let's go ahead and start with our regular treasure hunt. Let's see what Chevulator can do. Really fast around the arc. Let's see what he's able to do. Keeps his speed up on that raised part of the track. And let's see how far he can extend his gap. It looks like he's going to get all the way down to turn 5, turn 4, whatever you want to call this, the last turn of the distance track, and he's going to set a pretty good distance right there to kick us off. Also, 232 scale speed, pretty good. All right, let's see what this brand new Ferrari F40 can do on the track. Oh, slow around the arc, but he's got that low splitter, and he's not even going to make it up the hill to turn 2. The Ferrari 178 scale speed is not going to be competing for anything today. It may win the looks, but it does not win the performance. Next up, we got the McLaren Speedtail. See if the Speedtail has more speed than the Ferrari. It looks like it. He gets up the hill fine. He's going to go down the hill, keeping his speed pretty good. Around the start-finish line, gets a little bit squirrely there, but looks like he's still going to have a pretty good distance. Not as good as our regular treasure hunt, but still really fast, 225 scale speed. Also, bear with me, this is my first time commentating this new track, so I'll be thinking of new turn names and everything to say on the fly here, so hopefully you all are chill with that. Next up, we have that custom Ford Mustang, and his splitter is raised, so let's see how far he can go. Look at that. This car sounds interesting on the track. He's going to be slow around turn 2. Still manages to carry some decent speed through the corner. Is he going to make it all the way around turn 2? Man, he is barely going. And yeah, look at that. He's going to spin around right after turn 3, right before that little bend there in front of the Spoolheads billboards. The Ford, that goes to show what happens when the car would usually not have enough speed to finish on this third straightaway right here. Since it is so gradually downhill, all of the cars will be able, if they get up turn 2, to be able to get down turn 3, which I think is pretty good for a distance track. But this Ford, it's not winning anything. Next up, we have a recolor, the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. See what this T50 can do. See if it has the speed. He gets up turn 2. Let's see where he ends up though on the downhill. And it looks like he's not even going to be able to make it to turn 3. Cars with low splitters do not have the best rolling speed. And that goes to show with this Gordon Murray car. He's not even going to make it down the hill like the Mustang did. Next up, we have the custom Honda Civic, which is actually really light for casting. Let's see how fast it is. Makes it around the arc okay. Barely makes it up turn 2 okay. Let's see how far he can roll on the downhill. Looks like he's going to finish off right around where the Gordon Murray did as well. Not enough speed to carry himself down the hill all the way. 203 scale speed, but the Civic is barely going to edge out the T50, so we're going to put him right around there. Next up, we got the Volkswagen T3 Custom. See if this Volkswagen can barely stand on all 4 wheels around the arc, but he looks like he's got some pretty decent speed in there. Takes the inside line around turn 3. It's going to finish off pretty far down the Spoolheads track, finishing just behind that McLaren Speedtail, the 3rd fastest car so far. Also, 216 scale speed. Next up, we got the old Alfa Romeo Giulia. See what this new for 2025 casting can do. It looks like it's brought the speed. Take a look at that, holding the speed really well on the back straight. It's going to get a little bit loose coming out of turn 3, but take a look at that rolling speed. He's going to finish off just behind the new Volkswagen van. 225 scale speed. This thing was way faster than I expected. Next up, we have the tuned Mazda. Let's see what Mad Mike Motorsports can do in this Mazda. He gets up turn 2. It's going to roll down that back straightaway, hug the inside around turn 3, and look at that, a really clean run by the Mazda. It doesn't have the rolling speed to catch up to the Alfa Romeo, but still, 216 scale speed is pretty good for this tuned car. Next up, we got the Audi 90 Quattro. See what this Audi can do. It looks like it's got some decent speed. Is it going to get up the hill? It doesn't look like it. He's going to get stuck going up turn 2, and yeah, with that speed, I don't think he's going to be competing for anything. So unfortunate for the Audi, but he does beat the Ferrari, so that's something. Next up, we got the Dodge Coronet Super B. See what this Dodge Super B can do. It looks like it's not going to be faster on the arc, and yeah, not even going to make it up turn 2. 170 scale speed. This thing does not have the speed to compete. Next up is the Plymouth Superbird. See what this thing can do. Wow, this thing has some serious speed under its wheels. Gets up turn 2. Let's see how far it can extend its gap. It's going to slowly roll around turn 3. Take the perfect optimal line through that little bend there and finish off way behind the competition, but still a really good run. 1,203 scale speed is not accurate, but this thing showed a lot more speed than I was expecting. Next up, we got the Honda Civic EF. Let's see if this Civic is faster than the other Civic that went before it. It looks like it. This thing has some serious speed, gets a little bit loose going on the Spoolheads track, but this is a really good run for the Civic. He's gonna take the lead, beating the regular treasure hunt to the farthest distance. That Honda Civic is super fast. 222 scale speed, man, it holds its speed really well in the straights. Next up, we got our Land Rover. See what this Land Rover can do around the arc. Goes up the hill, and he's not gonna make it up the hill for turn 2. Unfortunate. The Land Rover just doesn't have the speed. Next up, we got the Olive Pontiac Aztec. Let's see what this guy can do. The Aztec doesn't have enough speed to get up turn 2. He does. Let's see what he's able to do here. He's actually not interested in finishing the rest of the track. He's gonna stay up on that Elegoo resin printed subscribe to John Racer 3 track. And yeah, unfortunately not going to be continuing his run there. He's too scared. Next up, we have Lil Roar, who's technically a fantasy car, but this is just an off-road Mini Cooper. He goes up the hill. Let's see what this off-roader can do. Gonna get to the inside of the track and spin around. It looks like he's gonna lose his footing there a little bit. 208 scale speed, so not bad, but not super fast. He's gonna finish off in front of that Ford Performance Mustang, and not bad for a little Mini Cooper. Now we're in fantasy car territory. Here's Street Wiener. Let's see what this hot dog car can do. It looks like it's got the speed to compete with the other fast cars. It's gonna go really fast through the bend, carry his speed well, and he's gonna finish 3rd overall, finishing just behind the regular treasure hunt Chevrolet. 8,000 scale speed, not an accurate time from the JLH Craft Speed Trap, but a really good run for the hot dog car. Next up, we have the Arkham Batmobile. See what this Batmobile can do. It looks like the Batmobile has some pretty good speed. Let's see if he's able to carry it and keep it straight through the bend onto the straight. It looks like the Batmobile is going to be the fastest car we've seen so far, just barely edging ahead of the Civic. Next up, we have Monte Racer. See what Monte Racer can do. Wow, this thing is a little bit slower than I was anticipating. It's got a metal base, so it should be pretty quick on the downhill, but he's not carrying his speed that well as he goes through the bend. He's going to finish off just in front of the Charger, or I guess that's a Plymouth, my bad. 210 scale speed. Next up, let's see how mid-mill is. Mid-mill, no. Take 2. Mid-mill slow around the arc, and yeah, not even gonna make it up turn 2. That's very mid for the mid-mill. Next up, we got Futurismo. See what Futurismo can do here. He gets up turn 2. Let's see how well he carries his speed around turn 3 though. Can he keep it straight? Gets a little bit loose and into the wall, barely beating Monte Racer. 216 skill speed's not bad, but is not able to extend its speed on the Spoolhead straight. Next up, we have a car I think will dominate. Here's Crescendo. Crescendo dominated the King of the Street Performance on his first run. Look at the speed from this thing. It's gonna dominate his second run and is gonna get all the way around turn 5. That is a huge speed differential to second place. Crescendo is flying. 246 scale speed. This is gonna be a really, really hard distance for the flip car to beat. I am invested. Man, to follow that up, we've got Speed Driver. See what Speed Driver can do. Wow, this thing has a ton of speed as well. On par with Crescendo almost, but he's not going to be able to keep it straight on the brand new distance track. Speed Driver is going to fall behind in the pack of mid. 238 skill speed. Such an underwhelming performance for such a promising car. Next up, we got the Ravager ST. Oh, this Ravager seems pretty quick. Let's see what speed it's able to bring out around turn 3, around the bend. Can he keep it straight? Look at that, another super fast fantasy casting. This time the Ravager is going to pull out second place, finishing behind Crescendo, and that is going to knock the regular treasure hunt Chevrolet out of the fight for King of the Streets. Man, these cars are getting faster and faster. Maybe the track's just getting faster. 4 cars left. Here's Pterotractyl. Pterotractyl, fast around the arc, fast around turn 2. Man, these fantasy cars are really picking up the pace. Drifts around the bend, but it's not going to matter. Still a really good run for Pterotractyl. He's going to finish off behind the Ravager, and that is going to eliminate the Civic from King of the Streets contention. And now it's all up to the fantasy cars. The fantasy cars are showing up today. 253 scale speed from that run as well. Pterotractyl's ripping it. 3 cars to go. Here's Slide Burn. See what this brand new Hot Wheels casting can do. It doesn't look like it has the speed compared to its other fantasy cars, and it looks like he's not going to be able to take the bend super well either, finishing off right around where Speed Driver did. 232 scale speed, another car that looked like he had the speed but just couldn't keep it straight, coming around turn 3. Second to last, we got RDO6. I have big hopes from this thing. It's got a metal base. It's a pretty speedy casting. Can it get a really good run? No! He's gonna spin around the bend, but that does not matter and will not stop him from having a really good time regardless. Finishing in front of the Speedtail, RDO6, 249 skill speed. All of these fantasy cars are just so flippin' fast, but I guess it's time for Flippin' Fast. Flippin' Fast is the current king of the hill, and now we've got a recolor. He's gonna be setting the pace for the King's rerun. Let's see what kind of speed he's able to bring out. This car already looks unbelievably quick. He isn't gonna spin out, and he is going to dominate the distance track. Wow! Finishing off right there, 249 skill speed, not even the fastest car we've seen through the speed trap, and yet Flippin' Fast is still able to gap the entire competition like it's not even funny. Wow, best car for last. Flippin' Fast is still Flippin' Fast. And now it's a battle of the flip cars. This is our king of the cases. We've got the flip car. This flip car is going to have to bring out some unseen speed if he wants to beat his recolored brother. Can he keep it straight? No, he cannot. I think the king has fallen. One flip car to another. The brand new silver, red, and yellow flip car has beaten your king. In fact, a lot of these cars have beaten the king. This thing is just way too fast. And it just goes to show through the speed trap, 238 scale speed, so a whole 10 miles an hour slower than the other flip car. It looks like the crown is passing from one casting to another. Well, and there you have it. Here are the results of the distance battle. In the top 10 cars alone, we only have 2 licensed castings that made it up here. Otherwise, 8 of the top 10 cars are all fantasy cars, which is absolutely kind of crazy. The licensed cars got knocked out of the park by the fantasy cars in today's distance battle, and our king didn't even make the top 10 on his rerun, which is unfortunate, but he's still going to go down as one of the most dominant kings in history, and now he has transferred his crown to his brethren here in the silver and yellow. Really good run here. He is going to be dominating as your king of the case, but we still have one more competition to go, and that's King of the Street. Our current King of the Street is Formula Solar, and the way this works, the top 4 cars from the distance battle are all going to be going head to head on this fat track to see who can get 2 wins consecutively in a row, and then the winners of that will go and eventually race our King of the Streets, I guess is what I'm calling it. So we got these 4 cars. Pterotractyl qualifies, the Batmobile doesn't, so let's get our matchups and let's see who the King of the Streets is. Our first matchup's the Flip Car versus the Ravager, and then we've got Crescendo versus Pterotractyl. We'll start with our second fastest matchup first. Crescendo on the inside, Pterotractyl on the outside. Look at that, fighting into turn 1, but Pterotractyl is going to lose it, and it's going to be Crescendo taking the first race. Crescendo now on the outside. Can he make it stick? Pterotractyl gets the lead, but Crescendo says, I do not care. He gets through the track car of Pterotractyl, and he's going to move on to the finale matchup, which, let's be honest, we all saw this coming. Next up, we got the Flip Car versus the Ravager, and I know the Flip Car might dominate this, but the Ravager is a beautiful looking fantasy car, and he's got the length advantage on the Flip Car. Let's see what happens after lap 1. Look at that, the Ravager with the lead. He's going to run absolutely away with it, going up the hill on the distance track. That is some dominating speed, as the Flip Car does not have anything to compete against that. Ravager now on the inside. Can he upset our King of the Case? It looks like he will. He gets a turn 1 first, and he's going to absolutely run away with it. It is going to be the Flip Car getting eliminated from the King of the Streets battle, and Ravager moves to the finals. I think this matchup's anyone's race. We got Crescendo on the inside and Ravager on the outside. First of 2 wins consecutively, wins and moves on to race the King. Look at that, it's going to be Crescendo. Ravager, though, looks up the inside, and Ravager's going to get it done. He's going to go all the way and cross the finish line as well, beating out Crescendo. What a battle. Crescendo got loose out of turn 1 there, and now he's at a disadvantage to Ravager. Can Ravager take it? A good start for the blue car, but it's going to be Crescendo running away this time. He gets the advantage back to his side as we go to a light race 3. The winner has come from the outside lane each time. This time Crescendo has the advantage. What's Crescendo going to be able to do? It looks like Ravager's going to spin out with some help from Crescendo, and Crescendo is going to be your king of the streets for the 2025 K case, and now it's time to race the king. Formula Solar, I believe, took this crown from Crescendo earlier from a different color of this casting, and now Crescendo's back, trying to take the crown back away from Formula Solar. First of 2 consecutive wins is our king. Let's see what happens after race 1. Oh, it looks like Formula Solar is going to have a really good run. And look at that, with the speed advantage, he's going to hold off Crescendo on lap 1. Crescendo had a good run on him there, but Formula Solar threw the block. Now he's on the outside. He has the chance to hold the crown. A really good start for Formula Solar, but he's going to get loose around the turn. Crescendo says, no thank you, I want this crown, and he might do a reverse sweep just like he did to Revenger on our king. Crescendo now with the advantage. If he wins this, he's the king. A good start for Formula Solar. Does Crescendo have the speed to catch up to him? It doesn't look like it. Both really clean runs from these cars, but Formula Solar is going to take back the advantage. Formula Solar just gets such good starts. He has the chance to keep the crown here. Another good start. He's going to hold the lead, and he's absolutely going to run away with it. Formula Solar proving he's got the speed to hold on to the crown. He's going to beat Crescendo, and in a recolor attempt to try and take back the crown, Crescendo just comes up short on this new track. Very unfortunate. Well, it looks like the king of the street will stay the same, but we have a new king of the case. It's going to be the flip car beating the other flip car to become your new king. And man, I must say, that was a fantastic case of races, and I hope you guys enjoyed this distance track. There are definitely some tweaks that I want to make to this track for the next case unboxing, but I also want to hear what you guys think. What do you think this track could do better to improve the racing product of all the cars racing on it? What do you think of that slight bend and the overextended turn 3? What do you think of the raised sections of the track, and especially the uphill battle into turn 2? Let me know your guys' opinions, because I want to make this track as good as possible, and I want your guys' opinions to help shape this track as well. So shout out JR3 Garage, the sponsor of this video. If you want to get $5 off your first purchase, use the link in my bio to get yourself some really cool cars that support me and what I do, especially since the cars are in my videos. I would greatly appreciate it, and I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next case unboxing video. So take it easy. Peace.